attachment through the Winnie the Pooh. Has people read Winnie the Pooh in here? Do you remember it as a childhood story? I think it's just a nice way of explaining the 4 attachments, really. I also got a little handout on it for you, not on Winnie the Pooh, but I've got a little handout on attachment. So I would say if we were going to look at attachment styles, just 4 attachment styles. So the first one we've got is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is quite securely attached. He's got friends. He's got Christopher, Robin and Piglet, who he's got really good relationships with. He does lots of really daft things, Winnie the Pooh. You know, he goes up on a balloon and he sticks his head in honey trees and gets attacked by bees. But he doesn't beat himself up about it. He doesn't think that it's a catastrophe. He just sort of goes, well, I got that wrong, really, and I'll go and have some money at home and it'll all be all right. So he's pretty securely attached in terms of his ability to make friends, make mistakes, get over them. He's quite resilient. One of his best mates is Piglet. Now, Piglet is anxious all the time. If you read Winnie the Pooh, Piglet spends most of his time worrying about drowning, or quite a lot of his time worrying about drowning, because he's little and he thinks if it floods in the wood, then he's going to be the first to drown. He checks out all the time with Pooh, if he's all right, and his friendships, and he's always questioning about it and feeling a little bit. So he's more anxious. He finds his attachments, he has to check them all the time and make sure that everything's okay for him. And that's difficult. Of course, then there's Eeyore, who often is talked about as being quite depressed. There he is floating down the river because he fell in and nobody bothered to help him out. So Eeyore's got a tendency to blame other people for things a little bit, but he's avoidant. He finds relationships much more difficult. He seems to spend his time in his little house in the woods, which is away from everybody else. Most of his thinking is that nobody really cares about him, so what's the point? Why bother? No one gives him anything for his birthday. Well, no one knew it was his birthday, so it didn't help. But so he doesn't ask for help. He doesn't know how to get support from anybody. Finally, we've got our disorganised attached. So we've got secure, anxious, avoidant, disorganised. So Tigger arrives at the wood, not even knowing what he eats. So when Tigger arrives and he knocks on the door where he wants to go, and they say to him, and he says, I'm hungry. And I think it's Winnie the Pooh says to him, well, what do you want to eat? And he goes, well, I don't know, really. So Pooh says, well, should we go and see Piglet? Piglet, I'll have some acorns, and see if you like them. Oh, and Tigger says, I love acorns, is what Tiggers love best. And of course they get there and he doesn't like acorns at all, makes him feel sick. So then they go somewhere else, and everywhere they go, he says, oh, that's my favourite food. But it isn't. Finally, they get to Kanga's house and he gets something he likes, and then he decides to live there. But he's very disorganised. He jumps around. He's quite attention-seeking, but not really engaging with anybody. So does this make sort of, people are looking like, oh, I recognise that. Basically, these are your attachments. So you've got your secure, anxious, your avoidant, and your disorganised.